Absolutely. No, this is a huge topic, and it's one that, yeah, it's become my new sort of life mission at the moment. So I'm writing a new book on this. I've been traveling around giving keynotes on this, and my take is this: it's not about AI being good or bad. It's not about the Terminator scenario that AI is becoming sentient and wiping out humanity. The real disruptive danger facing most of humanity right now is this rapid change, is disruption. So we're in this next sort of this current decade or so of radical disruption, and this is the kind of disruption that humans have never been through before. And I think a better way to think about AI is almost like an alien species has come to Earth. They're integrating to living with us. They're going to work for us. We don't really understand how they think. They seem very intelligent, but we don't really, even the people making these things don't understand how they think or process. It's a bit of a black box. And AI, whether it's the real-time deep fakes, whether it's a humanoid robots, I think we're going to see, you know, jobs, a large portion of jobs disappear, right? All the management firms are trying to predict whether 20% up to 60% of job losses over 5 to 10 years. So we're going to see a change in jobs and work as we know it. We're going to see a complete change of education. Do we still need schools and universities? Right? If I have a personal AI that has access to all the information in the world, it's more or less smarter than me. It's tapped into my physiology. It can read my heart rate, my skin conductance. I can use it for intuition, right? So if I have that with me 24/7, what is the role of school and university or education in general? And we don't have a good answer for that. It has to change. Of course, businesses and governments are going to become largely run by AIs and everything in between. So we're looking at a societal disruption that we've never seen before. And change is difficult, and change is more difficult and more scary when we don't feel like we have control over it. And that's what we talked about uncertainty earlier. And that's really this wave of uncertainty is washing over people as they get exposed to AI, as their companies bring AI products and services into their companies, right? People are freaking out with anxiety. Everywhere I've been going, I always ask, how are you feeling about AI, and people put up their hand, they're feeling anxious. And they're not feeling anxious about AI wiping out humanity. They're feeling anxious because they don't know what's going to happen next. Will their job be around in a year or two? Do their kids need to go to school or university? No one knows what's going to happen. And we know from a ton of neuroscience that not knowing what's going to happen next puts us in a state of fear and anxiety. This happens to animals, monkeys, it's a biological thing. And so that's what we're facing right now. We're seeing this mass sort of wave of uncertainty and hence stress and anxiety. So we can turn to change management. So in organizations, change management is a big deal. Every time an organization has to go through change, they bring in management experts who understand the different stages of change and what people need to go through. I think that's a really nice metaphor and way to think about what we need to apply to individuals, to families, to companies, organizations, but to whole nations. We need change management, AI-ready change management, right? We need help to get AI ready. And those change management plans always start with education, getting people to understand what AI is, what's happening, why it's happening, how long-term it will be for the greater good. But right now it's very disruptive and it feels uncomfortable. And the other thing, like you mentioned, is that whenever I give these keynotes, there's always a certain number of people who would just want to, pull the plug, go and live off grid, don't touch AI, don't use the internet. And that's a legitimate response. But if you want to do things in the world, if you want to create stuff and keep on working for the moment, then you need to use AI. You need to sort of get your head in the game to understand it. So I always recommend people start, if they haven't already, if they haven't used AI, start using it. Start watching YouTube clips, whatever it is. Start understanding what it is, what it can do. It's not just a chat thing to chat to. It's permeating everything in our lives, from cars to stuff in the kitchen. We're going to have humanoid robots in our houses in the next year or two doing things for us, doing the gardening, cleaning the houses. So it's a massive topic, like you said. But I think that's where we need to focus right now, is how can we best prepare people for this change so they don't feel scared, they don't feel anxious. When you're in this anxious fear state, you're not going to be the best dad, the best partner, the best wife, whatever it is. Your productivity, your innovation and creativity at work is going to go down because you're going to start being, scared. I consult with companies who bring in an AI product, and they just bring in the AI product, give it to their employees, and they freak out, they get anxious. Sure, they can increase their productivity, but what's going on under the hood is they're thinking, oh shit, I've only got like a year or two until this AI takes my job. And so by introducing an AI product without change management, the human side of the AI revolution in a company, you are really hurting your staff. So that's really my take. That's the general landscape of what's going on. I've developed sort of small scale AI change management plans for people, but there's so many other things happening. We have artificial intimacy. I think these artificial intimacy apps, people are having long-term, loving, in-depth relationships with AI agents. And these should be banned in young people. We've seen death by suicide by a few young people now who have had their whole worldview changed by these AI conversations. People are married, they're getting married to these AIs. I do think this artificial intimacy, I call it the other AI, is this new frontier. I think it's going to take over from TikTok and Instagram. It's going to take over from social media. We don't understand a lot about it, but it is doing a lot of strange things. Then you have deepfake media. We've all grown up and lived in a world where seeing video and photos meant that thing really happened. That's no longer the case. If you go on TikTok or Instagram now, you'll see crazy stuff. What did I see yesterday? Oh, I saw a video of a guy barbecuing baby dolphins on a barbecue, right? And cutting them up. And it looked real. And so in other words, we're just getting flooded with fake synthetic media now. And that is changing the way we see reality, seeing videos. We can do real-time deep fakes now. I can have a plug into my webcam now and you could see me as Brad Pitt. I could change my voice. You'd have no idea. And people are getting scammed by these real-time video deep fakes now in Zoom calls. So it's a whole new world, and we haven't even got to universal basic income and all that great stuff on the horizon. But, I'll finish my TED talk now and let one of you guys speak.